Good morning, dear participants. Today, we are going to discuss two units in Block 3. In the previous three classes, in Blocks 1 and 2, we have covered lessons 1, 2, 3, and uh, 4, 5, and 6. Unit 1 was on what is public relations. Unit 2, in Unit 2, we discussed elements of public relations. In Unit 3, we dealt with what is public relations and the importance of public opinion. And in Unit 4, we have discussed about the models of public relations. And in the previous Sunday, that is on 31st December, we dealt with unit number 5 and discussed stages of public relations process and also tools and the media that are used in the practice of public relations. And now today, we are dealing with block number 3 and discuss the issues like public relations as a strategic management function, that is unit number 7, that is lesson number 7, and also how to be a good public relations manager as unit number 8, that is lesson number 8. Come to the lesson number 7, public relations as a strategic management function. Every time I've been telling you that public relations is a specialized management function. It's a unique management function. It's a strategic management function. It is on the top of management functions because of its role and importance that it plays in the process of management. And in this unit, we are going to discuss what is management, what are the characteristics of management, and what are the functions of management vis-a-vis the principles of management. And we also compare the public relations with that of other disciplines like human resources management, financial management, and marketing management, and also the public relations as a management function and the vis-a-vis the dimensions of the management. Now, what is management? Manage means to organize things. Actually, it has come from the word manus. Manus means hand. Doing with the hand or hands is called management. You will be wondering when the Aryans came into India, when they came into India in different layers, different stages, they don't have elephants in their own area, their place of origin in their country, but India still have elephants, number of elephants. And on seeing an elephant, they shouted, Mruga Hastin. Mruga Hastin means a mruga, an animal with extra hand. Mruga Hastin, hand. So other animals are having 4 legs. They are called quadrupeds. But this elephant has an extra advantage because it has an extra hand. So manas means a hand. So people will do things with their hands and manage things with their hands. Therefore, the management came into usage. So now, what is management? Let us look into different definitions given by the management experts. Management is concerned with the resources, tasks, and goals very simply. It is the process of planning, organizing, directing, and controlling to accomplish organizational objectives through the coordinated use of humans and material resources, said V.S.P. Rao. From this definition, it is evident that management is an art of getting the things done, just like public relations practice. Now, let us examine other few definitions given by management experts. Joseph Messi said, management is the process by which a cooperative group directs action towards common goals. They have a goal, there are people, and their actions are directed towards goals. That itself is management. According to Henry Foyle, management is to forecast and to plan, to organize, to command, to coordinate, and to control the things. And in the words of Peter F. Drucker, he's another management expert, a notable. He says management is a multi-purpose organ that manages a business and manages managers and manages worker and the work itself. So the management is nothing but it manages the managers, it manages the workers, and it manages the very work before them and their hands. So this is actually what management is. Now let us look at what are the characteristics of management. Manage, to do the things, to get the things done. Everything is management. The characteristics of management are management aims at reaping rich results in economic terms. Economy, everything is economy. Everything is, all human relations are economic relations, said somebody. Under the sun, on the earth, every activity is an economic activity. You will agree this. Even if you say that all human relations are not economic relations, but ultimately they are proven to be economic relations. Therefore, if any activity is there, there must be a management involved. So management aims at reaping rich results in economic terms. Management also implies skill and experience. All people cannot manage. Only few are managers. They manage things better because of the experience, because of the skills they possess. Every mother is an excellent manager because she manages the entire family. Therefore, she has certain skills, she has some experience, and you and I cannot go and cook in the kitchen because we don't have experience, we don't have skills, because that is not generally, we deem it is not our job. As a student, it is your job to study, learn things. As a teacher, it's my job to tell lessons, narrate you things. Therefore, I have an experience. I have some skills in teaching because I am managing my teaching. You have to manage your studies, your times, your schedule, something like that. So, management, the characteristics are management is a process, management is an universal activity, management is a science as well as an art. Management is not done sometimes all alone. Sometimes it is a group activity. Management has a system of authority. The authority flows from above and the feedback comes from below to the upwards. Management involves decision making. Management implies good leadership. Management is always goal oriented. There is an acronym. There is an acronym coined by Luther Gulick. He coined a word acronym, POSDCORB, POSDCORB, to describe the functions of management. POSDCORB, POSDCORB. Now, each letter stands for one word. What is P in POSDCORB means it is planning. The next is O, organizing. S stands for staffing. D stands for directing the things. Co stands for coordination or coordinating the things. R stands for reporting. And B stands for budgeting. Without budget, you cannot do anything because every activity is economic activity. And a combination of these six letters, that we call it six elements, includes the key functions of management. And now, what are the principles of management? Thomson, J.J. Thomson, an author of the management book, had pointed out about the principles of management as only approximations of generalizations from experience. As such, the principle should not be treated as a rigid and flexible rules to administrative behavior. They are tailor-made, not ready-made. For each and every situation, The management style differs. The management function somewhat differs. The principles, however, the management principles, however, convenient as a shortened method of thinking are only guides to action. If they become rules, they lose their utility. But the situation, based on situation, depending upon the situation, the rules are made. According to Henry File, another management expert, there are 14 principles of management. Now we can read out them. Division of work is a management principle. If there is no division of work, everybody does everything and it becomes a mess. There must be some kind of division of work among the workers. And the manager, who is above all these workers, will be directing. There must be an authority. It is a principle of management. The right to give orders must accompany responsibility. There is one authority at the top above. The authority flows from above to the below, from top to the bottom. And that authority not only gives the orders, but also has the responsibility to ensure that everything gets into business. And discipline is another principle of management. Discipline does mean the obedience of the subordinates towards the superior. Unless the subordinates respect the authority, that is the boss, nothing will happen. The management will not happen. Unity of command is another principle. Each employee should receive orders from only one superior, that is another management principle. Unity of direction means everybody should direct their attention, to direct their resources and energies towards one goal set by the authority and the management. Subordination of individual interests to the general interest. The boss or the workers may have their individual interests, but the general interest, a common interest must be there for every organization. And the individual interest must be subordinated to the general interests of the organization. This is another important principle of management. Remuneration, of course, there must be remuneration. No work is done free. If that is done free, it must be Sramadhanam or something kind of charity. But in an academic activity, majority of the cases, there ought to be some kind of remuneration, either in cash or in kind or in exchange of something. There must be some kind of remuneration or at least the goodwill. Then centralization. The relationship between centralization and decentralization is a matter of proportion. The optimum balance must be found in each organization. The centralization does mean the authority is centralized. In some cases, it is okay. In certain cases, centralization is not possible. There must be decentralization. Think of India. There is a central government and also state governments. It is decentralization of power. The states are vested with some authority. Central government is vested with some other authority. And even within the states, you have districts, district authorities. You have JP, Jilla Parishad. You have collectorate. You have several other authorities. These are all broadly and decentralization of authorities. And within the organization also, there is again decentralization, because centralization will lead the management to nowhere. Then scale or chain. Subordinates should observe a formal chain of command unless expressly authorized. There must be a scale. They must follow. Every individual in an organization, every worker in an organization has a scale of authority and responsibility to exercise and to discharge the responsibility. Order. Both material things and people should be in their proper places. If it is not there, it is called a disorderly manner. Everything must be in order. What is dirt, for example? Anything out of place is called dirt. If you put some glass or tumbler or a bowl at a place which is not assigned to it, it is a dirt. It becomes a dirt. A glass must be there in the kitchen or a cupboard. A newspaper must be there on the teapot or something shelf. If it is thrown somewhere other than the place assigned to it, it is in disorder. It means dirt. Dirt is nothing but things out of place is called dirt. Dust must be there somewhere. It should not be there on the utensils. It should not be there on the furniture. It should not be there on your person. So if it is there, it becomes a dirt. The dust must be there somewhere where it has to, dustbin or something else. So orderly thing is always important. Then equity, fairness that results from a combination of kindness and justice will lead to devoted and loyal service. That is called equity. If something happens, the rule must be rule for all. That is equity. Stability and tenure of persons. Tenure means one worker will work in that particular place for a defined term. That is called tenure. You must be observing that your lecturer, the collector of your district or the SP of your district or the DCP or CI of our area police station will not be permanent. They will be working there maybe for a tenure or a term of office for 2 years or 3 years, or if extended for another year. But nothing is permanent. They should be shuffled. The officers should be shuffled. Similarly, the managers and the workers should be given a particular term. And after that, they have to be moved to a different place. This is one of the management principle. Then initiative. One of the greatest satisfaction of formulating and carrying out a plan with initiative. The initiative of even a lowest worker should be honored, should be given respect. And if it is useful to the management or the organization, it should be accepted. So that day, the feedback is honored. The creativity of every worker is looked into. Esprit de corps. Corps means nothing but persons, bodies, individuals. Esprit, harmonious effort among individuals is the key to organizational success. These are the principles of management. And management and other disciplines. If you look at public relations is a management function. Similarly, HR, human resources is a management function. Finance is a management function. Marketing is a management. There are other functions of management, but let us confine only to HR, finance, and marketing because they are closely associated with public relations. They have similarities. Now look at HRM, human resources management. It is the design of formal systems in an organization to ensure the effective use of employees, their knowledge, their skills, their abilities, their characteristics to accomplish the organizational goals. Every organization will have aims, objectives, goals, vision, mission. Some are long term, some are short term. And because every organization is having certain goals, certain objectives, certain vision, certain mission, it is the duty of the public relations practitioners to be in consonance with the goals, objectives, vision, and mission, and then work in coordination with important management functions like human resources, like finance, and like marketing. So HRM is an approach to manage people in an organization. You know, every organization will have a HR department and that recruits people. After recruitment, it is the job of the public relations people to communicate these people because these workers constitute the internal publics of the organization. The other stakeholders become the external publics of the organization. When once the HRM recruits the personnel, the required personnel, by looking at their qualification, other things, abilities, and other things, it is the duty. It becomes the duty of the public relations or corporate communications team to communicate them the organizational information. So HR department is established in every organization under the charge of the an executive. Usually he is called HR manager, human resource manager. This department plays an important role in the efficient management of human resources. They manage human resources and public relations professionals manage information and communication that is needed by the every employee from boss to the lowest worker. Now look at the finance management. Dhanam moolam idam jagat. Money is important for everything. Finance is the lifeblood of any organization. Without finance, nothing will happen. Finance may be defined as the art of science of managing the money. Finance means managing the money. It includes financial service and financial instruments. Finance is also referred to as the provision of money at the time when it is needed. Finance function is the procurement of funds and their effective utilization in business concerns. In other words, financial management, just like human resources management, is mainly concerned with the effective funds management in the business. So, for heading this particular finance management function, it is called financial manager finance. Then the other important function of the management is marketing management. Marketing is defined by American Marketing Association as the activity, a set of institutions and process of creating, communicating, delivering, and exchanging offerings that have value for customers, clients, partners, and the society at large. Now, there are four activities, or in other words, four components of marketing. They are called creating, the process of collaborating with suppliers and customers, communicating, then public relations and corporate communication will come. By the way, marketing management will involve these four components. That is, one component is creating, the process of collaborating the suppliers and customers, the communicating, describing those offerings, as well as learning from customers, delivering, getting those offerings to the consumer in a way that optimizes value, and exchanging, trading value. Now, the modern marketing has five P's, five components. They are P, 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 P. P1 stands for product, that is goods or services. Any marketable things, there are only two marketable things in the world. They are called the goods produced, the tangible things, and the services. Goods and services together, they are called P, product, P1, product. And the next P is price. If there is a product, in order to sell them, it has to have a price tag. So price is important. Pricing is a big subject. Managing the prices is a different strategic function of management, marketing management. The price is important. If you have competitors, your price will tell about you. If you have several competitors for the product and the services you are giving out to the community, to the customers, the consumers, then your pricing will get you the image, the credibility, everything, because pricing is nothing but that in order to give you some kind of product profit, you have to ensure, I mean, the organization will have to ensure that the pricing should be in such a way that it will get some kind of benefit or profit, if not losses. The manufacturing cost and the selling price, the difference becomes the profit, and the pricing will be in such a way that it gets some kind of profits. The competitive pricing, it will give you not only business and also the name and the goodwill. Then the third P, the third element of marketing management is place, getting the product to a point at which the consumer can purchase it. Now the place is not one confined to one market. Earlier there used to be a marketplace, a Sunday market, or a weekly market, or a shandy, makeshift shandies. But now in the e-marketing situation, the place is not only a confined place, but everywhere, the country, entire globe has become a marketplace. Now, market means a place you have seen, and you have ordered something from Flipkart or Amazon. Where is the market? Market is in the cloud. Market is on the web. And where is the customer? You are the customer. The customer need not go to a place, marketplace, but the product or the service will reach you. So place is important. And sometimes in the conventional markets, there are designated places for the marketing of particular goods. If you just imagine Hyderabad, if you are living in Hyderabad, for you to get gold ornaments, you have to go to either the big jewelry shops, or you have to go to Secunderabad pot market, or somewhere in the old city. If you want to buy some machinery, maybe for electric motor pump sets, you have to go to Raniganj, or you have to go to Putli Bauli, or some place designated for it. Those are also markets. But if you want to buy them over online, they will come to you. You have various options to select and buy, and also to return. So what I mean to say is the place is also important. Place is also very important. Then promotion. Promotion involves communication. Promotion is the fourth P of marketing management. Promotion involves communication, public relations, advertising, publicity, and all other things. Then the fifth P is public relations. Public relations does not mean advertising, does not mean publicizing, does not mean propagating the things. But public relations is a long-term thing. It is developing the relationship between the product and the customers, between the organization and the consumers, between the communicators and the communicatees, between the sender and the receiver, between the source of the communication and the destination of the communication. So public relations generally involves in the as one of the elements of marketing communication. Now, public relations as a management function. This is very important. I have told you in the beginning repeatedly, PR is a strategic management function. PR is a specific management function. PR is a specialized management function. And PR is always on the top of management functions because public relations involves management of information and communication needed at every stage for everybody in the organization, outside the organization, in the community, and in the society, so that this information, this communication will get you the needed benefits for the organization to survive in the market. Now, public relations as a management function. Every organization is run by the principles of management by objectives. The CEO or the chief executive officer and the directors of the board constitute the top management function generally, who not only design plans for the company, but also oversee the implementation, get money, get more investors, and management by nature of its functions in any institution takes different decisions, dimensions to accomplish the vision and mission, objectives, aims, and goals of the organization in order to achieve what they have thought. Various types of management or us, we can list them out now, like human resources management. We have discussed only HRM, financial management, and marketing management. So now, if you look at, there are more than a dozen management things. One is human resource management. The second one is financial management. Third one is material management. Fourth is production management, marketing management, business management, office management, industrial relations management, operations management, media relations management. Of course, it falls within the purview of public relations practice. Crisis management also falls within the ambit of public relations practice. And public relations communication, information and communication management. Now, having seen all these management things, let us look at what is the strategy in management as far as management concerned, and what are the tactics. A strategy is a long-term thing. It is a planning. J.L. Thompson defined strategy as a means to the end. Here, the ends represent the vision, mission, again, goals, objectives of an organization. It is the strategy, a plan of a corporate body that accomplishes the objectives of the organization. Another social scientist, Bennett, he described strategy as the direction that the organization chooses to follow in order to fulfill its vision and mission. In view of the global competitive marketing, another expert said, Mintzberg and others, they said they have given certain things, the meanings for the word strategy. They meant strategy means a plan as a consciously intended course of action. Intended course of action. A ploy means a plot as a specific maneuver intended to outwit an opponent or a competitor. It's a strategy. You have war strategy, political strategy. Similarly, management strategies are there. Management is a bigger one, tactic is a smaller one. And again, a strategy is a pattern representing a stream of actions. It's a position as a means of locating an organization in an environment It's a perspective and an outlook as an integrated way of perceiving the world. So if you are strategic, you are bound to win whatever you take up. Sri Krishna is said to be a strategist, a war strategist. He has managed several things. He has managed the war in such a way that the good has won over the evil. So whatever it is, a strategy is a long term thing, whereas the tactic or tactics are adopted incidentally. So Dennis Griswold defined public relations as the management function, as already told, which evaluates public attitudes. It evaluates public opinion, public attitudes, identifies the policies and procedures of an organization with public interest, and executes a program of action to earn their understanding, their goodwill, their acceptance, their favorableness. So this is public relations management, and strategy is more important for the practice of public relations in managing the things. Now, relationship management. What are the relationships management? These are the following relationships management: employees relations, investors relations, customers relations, media relations, shareholders relations, relations in crisis situations, relationship with stakeholders, and etc. etc. As such, public relations as a strategic management function will serve the strategies covering corporate goals, communication plans, corporate responsibility, and all other relationships with both internal and external publics. These harmonious relationships undoubtedly not only create mutual understanding between the organization and the targeted public or the segmented public in order to accomplish corporate goals. Areas where other departments consult PR manager. PR manager is important. Public relations is a top management function. PR manager is said to be interstellar luna minor. Interstellar luna minor means he is just like a moon among the twinkling stars. The moon is dominant there. Though scientifically the moon is smaller one, the stars are bigger ones, including sun is a star. Therefore, it is called soul star. That is a different thing. But apparently, the moon among stars means the moon is visible brightly among the blinking stars. Therefore, PR manager is said to be a moon among the stars, interstellar luna minor. So, public relations as a strategic management function deals with the management as a two-way communication process to build good relationships with the public. In this process, the managers of other departments, such as HRD, marketing, and then every other department where management is needed, consult public relations professionals in all common issues for information needs or communication needs. Now look at it. There are 6 areas in which a manager of other disciplines has to talk with the public relations manager for a better coordination of information and communication. They are to obtain advice from an expert about a communication problem. If it is related to a communication problem or if it is related to information, necessarily the manager of the concerned department will consult the public relations manager because he's an expert in information dissemination and communication process. For help in communicating externally, because public relations manager will have relationship with both internal manager and internal public and also external public. If any other manager other than public relations manager want to have a kind of communication with external publics, then necessarily he will consult, say, investor or customer or supplier or somebody externally. Necessarily, that particular manager or head of that particular wing or department will consult public relations manager because PR man being an expert to facilitate or mediate internal communication between units and employees, to bring news and views from outside through feedback mechanism, to undertake marketing communication, marketing campaigns, marketing advertisements, and for advice on media related issues, media relations. Now, after dealing with strategy, look at tactics. As a strategic management function, PR makes use of various media tactics. What is a tactic? Tactic is a method. It is a skillful device, a tool of influence to influence the people and to persuade an important communication activity to achieve a particular objective. Now, here are a few PR tactics the public relations people, public relations staff, public relations manager, or corporate communications manager will adopt media wise. Each medium has its own tactics. If you use any kind of medium, there are certain tactics to be adopted in order to communicate the message of the organization to the targeted public. What are they? Number one medium is newspaper or the printing press. It is one of the one of the medium of conventional media or conventional media or the mainstream media. Say, for example, press release is a media tactic. Feature articles now and then is a media tactic. Organizing press conference, it means calling press people to your organization in order to tell them something about new product, new service, new area, diversification, benefits, profits, loss, crisis, whatever is there. You call the organization will call a press conference, and public relations man is in charge of organizing all these things. Press tour, taking people, media people, to the project site or the factory site or anywhere related to the organization. And press briefing, one-to-one briefing. You call only one journalist of one particular channel or particular newspaper, and you brief him so that he will create a special story in his newspaper on the radio or the channel. That is press briefing. Press interview. Press people will come and interview the management, either top management or next boss or middle management. And backgrounder, success story. Document a success of your organization and you disseminate that to the media so that it is covered and you get publicity. New media. After newspaper, that is print medium, it is new media, internet, intranet, email, e-press release, e-journal, website, blog, Twitter, Facebook, and all the social media applications now made available to the public. Corporate publications. The publications that are made out by the corporate organizations are called corporate publications. And public relations professionals shall get thoroughly experienced, shall get acquainted and expertise in editing and production of corporate publications like house journal, newsletter, annual report, posters, calendars, brochures, flyers, leaflets, and also direct mail. Then coming to broadcast media, the tactics are the talks, radio talks, TV talks, arranging panel discussions and features, broadcasting features, writing the script, shooting it, and sending it for either radio or television. Some feature stories. Then news and current affairs. And in the films, documentary films. And in the films category, documentary films, news magazines, quickies, time checks, jingles, and animation films, etc., etc. Now, we have dealt with the lesson number 7, that is PR strategies and management. PR is a management function. Now, let us look at the other lesson, that is how to be a good PRO. What are the qualities? What are the qualifications a public relations man should have? What are the functions of PR manager? What is the expectation of the management from the public relations manager or the corporate communications manager? And what is spin doctoring? What is the present name of spin doctoring? Because public relations manager earlier used to be called as spin doctor because he used to spin the things. Now he is a manager because he manages the things. Now there is no room for any lie, any falsification. The public relations man will have to deal with facts and the truth only because there is an ethical code. Therefore, the name of spin doctor has gone. Now he is just public relations manager. Now, integrated communication approach. It is a biggest quality to be possessed by a public relations manager. And what are all the other things that makes a good PR manager? His qualities, his professional qualifications, his experience, his exposure, and the PR skills to be possessed, that is writing skills and speaking skills. All these things are to be possessed by a public relations manager. Now, let us look at the functions of a public relations manager. I tell you repeatedly. In corporate organizations, they are called corporate communication managers. Generally in government offices, they are called public relations officers or public relations manager. Whether be it public relations or the corporate communication, both are same, one and the same. I'll tell you an example. A few years ago, a university in Andhra Pradesh has sent a research candidate to Bangalore asking that candidate, that student, to do research in public relations. This student has gone to Bangalore, visited a number of organizations, and told the HR managers or somebody or chief executive saying that I wanted to do research in public relations. They turned down, they sent back the research student saying that we don't have public relations department. The student came back to the supervisor, to the professor, and repeated and related the same thing, saying that they have turned down because they don't have a public relations department in their organization. The supervisor, research guide, again instructed this research student, go to the same organization and say that you are doing research in corporate communications. Every organization is having a corporate communications department. Now, why I am telling you this, whether it is public relations or a corporate communications, both are same, the principles are same, only the name is changed. Earlier, public relations was not the name. The present name of public relations was something different, propaganda, maybe propaganda or spin doctoring or publicity or lobbying. The names have been changed. Whenever this has become a discipline as a management function, whenever it has adopted a code of ethics and vowed not to tell lies, only to follow the principles of ethics and to deal with facts and truth, inform the public that this is the organization, you don't want to do any gimmicks and you don't want to do any spinning, you don't want to do any lobbying, then because all your actions are chaste, your words are chaste, you are uttering only truth, not the lies, then it has become a profession of public relations, throwing all the other previous names. Now you come back to the functions of the PR manager. Identify main client organization groups and audience and determine the best way to communicate publicity information to them. So, know your audience is the first exercise so that you can tailor make, you can mend your communication in such a way that it reaches them. They will understand your message, they will understand your information, and your communication gets through. Therefore, know your audience is very important. This is the first function of the PR manager. Therefore, the first duty to be done is who are your targeted audience? Who are your public to whom you have to communicate? And then you divide them horizontally into two, internal public and the external public. And the other function of PR manager is to write interesting and effective press releases. A PR man must be a writer with creativity. He must possess some kind of proficiency in the language, be it Telugu or Hindi or English, whatever it is. He should be a writer just like a reporter, a correspondent. of a newspaper, because a correspondent or a journalist or a reporter, he will work for the newspaper, and a public relations man will work for the organizational publications. Therefore, PR man and journalists are said to be cousins, because these people write, those people also write. These people report, those people also report. They deal with information, these people also deal with information. They are involved in the process of communication, these people are also involved in the process of communication. Therefore, they are called cousins, and they are two sides of the same coin. Journalists and public relations practitioners are two sides of the same coin, because the common denominator is information and communication process. Okay, next function of public relations manager is to develop and maintain the company's corporate image and identity. Identity you get by logos, by your colors, your messages. And the image is not just by the colors and the logo or the emblem, but it is an image gained after working for a period. This is something like credibility. This is something like goodwill, which includes the use of logos and the signage, colors, messages, catchy words, everything, whatnot. And the other function of PR manager is manage communications budget. What is the why budget is necessary? Because for everything, in order to give out some information to the public, targeted public, the information of the management to the targeted public, it has to pass through some kind of medium. And that medium always is not free, and it costs you. If it is a newspaper, it is column centimeter space. You have to buy it for advertisement. If it is a radio, you have to buy the time. If it is television, you have to buy the time. If it is social media, you have to buy the internet. So for everything, the cost is involved, because no medium of communication will come to you for free. You have to spend for it. Therefore, there is a necessity for budgeting. Budgeting is always for annually, for an year, divided into quarters, maybe months also. Then you have to propose. The public relations manager or the corporate communications manager will have to propose a budget proposal needed for that particular year, spelling out what for you need this money for this medium of communication, for this medium, for printing, for telecasting, for broadcasting, for advertising, for hoarding, for handouts, everything. So everything costs. Therefore, you need some kind of budget. Then manage special events such as sponsorships, shows, exhibitions, parties, window dressing, other activities, firm support in order to gain the public attention through any kind of media or medium, with or without advertising directly. Then the other function of public relations manager is to draft speeches for company executives, for a top boss, and also arrange interviews, including press conferences. Everything involves money. But the writing is the job of the public relations manager. Assign, supervise, and review the activities of his own staff, public relations staff. Sometimes right to information staff are also added to the public relations work. Sometimes proactive information to be prepared by different departments is also given to the public relations department. So for all these things, he is in charge. It is the function of the PR manager. Evaluate corporate advertising and promotion programs for compatibility with public relations efforts. Establish and maintain effective working relationship with local and municipal government relations, financial relations, community relations, society relations, uh, industrial relations. There are all kinds of relations, but for every relations, other departments may be there. But in overall, wherever information and communication process are involved, necessarily public relations manager or corporate communication manager will come into picture. Confer with labor relations managers. Confer means to do meetings with the labor relations manager, whoever he is, and suggest him on communications. What kind of communication will reach people? In what language it should be? In what slang it should be? How low it should be? How high it should be? What are the words used? What should not be used? These are all the things because you are a PR manager is a communication expert. The other managers will consult this man so that there will not be any boomeranging situation. Then formulate policies and procedures related to public information programs, working with public relations executives, respond to requests of information about employers' activities and status, establish goals for soliciting funds, develop policies for collection of and safeguarding of contributions, and coordinate disbursement of funds, manage in-house communication and house journal, internal, external, all publications, all printed materials, all information put across broadcasting medium, that is radio and television, or new IT medium, or social media apps, will have to be managed by public relations manager. And the last function is building effective media relations, because public relations is meant for media relations. Every organization's boss want to see him or his message, his photo in the news media, whatever it is, the medium of communication. Therefore, the most important function of public relations manager is to maintain relationship with media. Therefore, it is called media relations. It is very important. Now, what the management expects from the public relations? They expect public relations man to be an advocate. The public relations manager is the chief advocate of the company. This is called advocacy. Public relations is called an advocacy because we advocate for the things. And he must be a communicator, an effective communicator, not an ordinary communicator. He is a problem solver. He should solve the problem. So he is not a trouble monger. He is a troubleshooter. Wherever there is a trouble, and this public relations manager or the public communications manager is pressed into service so that he solves the problem. He is supposed to be the Narada. What Narada did for the welfare and happiness of the public at large, that is his principle. So he creates some kind of problems somewhere, not with the motive of creating trouble. He is not a troublemonger, he is a troubleshooter. Ultimately, his aim is to ensure the happiness and welfare of the people, everybody. So, for the welfare and happiness of the people at large, whoever works is called a public relations man. And the public relations manager or corporate communication manager appointed for that organization is expected to be like Narada. Narada was an ambassador. Narada is the best communicator. Angada is another communicator. Angada Rayabaram, Narada Rayabaram, Sanjaya Rayabaram, Rayabara. Rayabaram and mediation is the very business of public relations man. For that, what is needed? He should have some kind of proficiency in the subject, efficiency, and the communication, the tactics of communication, the strategies to be adopted. If he tells something, the people must listen. He should be in such a manner, his qualifications, his experience, his expertise, skills, strategies, tactics, all will contribute to the success of the communication, mediation, conciliation, whatever name you call it. So, a public relations manager must be a problem solver. We are talking about the expectations of the management from the public relations manager. Number one is advocate. You must be an advocate of things, advocate of the products, advocate of the services. If anything comes, he should be there before to represent the things at any forum. And then a best communicator, an effective communicator, and then a problem solver. And the fourth expectation, generally, broadly, is a opinion maestro, an expert. Maestro means an expert. The public relations manager directs all outreach efforts. He is responsible for media placements and coordinating organizational functions and the efforts of executives. It is his responsibility to determine the executive appropriate for each situation and ensure that person has approved information and statements in hand. It means opinion maestro means his opinion will carry weight. He is an opinion leader. Other managers, other officers, other functionaries in an organization may have some kind of opinion to a given situation or to a given issue. But public relations man being an expert, he has both internal information as well as external information. He's a jock of all, master of many. He's a jock of all. He ought to be jock of all trades and master of many trades. Any information you ask, the public relations manager must be in a position to tell, to give his opinion. Therefore, he is expected to be an opinion maestro. And then let us come to spin doctor. Who is a spin doctor? Spin means spinning the things. Spin has been interpreted historically to mean overt deceit. Deceit means to deceive, overt, extra deception, deceptive things, to manipulate the public and to tell people some other things, not the truth. You tell something and try to convince them, get the things done. That is called spin doctoring. You are a doctor. Who is a doctor? Doctor is an expert in feeling the pulse and treating the ailment. Similarly, a public relations man, his earlier designation used to be spin doctoring. The job of the public relations man used to be before before 19 before the Second World War period. It used to be spin doctoring. It means only he will tell something in favor of the organization, make the people believe by hook or crook, and get the things done. Sell your product, sell your services. Now, after adopting the code of ethics, after realizing that it is not correct, it shall be a management function for a long-term benefits, then the name that spin doctoring has gone. And after some time, this spin doctoring has been polished, saying that polishing the truth. Earlier, it used to tell something else. After that, it became just polishing of the truth. Today, spin refers to the providing a certain interpretation of information meant to save public opinion. Companies may use spin to create an appearance in the company or other events that are going slightly in a different direction than they actually are. Within the field of public relations, spin is seen as a derogatory term these days. Now it has become a negative term, interpreted by professionals as meaning a blatant deceit and manipulation. Now spin means manipulation. Earlier it was something. It was good. Now it has become bad. Similarly, propaganda is a negative word in public relations practice. Similarly, lobbying, spin, propaganda, and lobbying are negatives in public relations practice. Whereas advertising, publicity, communication, public affairs, exhibitions, these are all the positive tools of practicing public relations in order to disseminate information to the public to favor ultimately the organization, to build relationships between the organization and its targeted communities. The techniques of spin include selectively presenting facts and quotes that support ideal positions. They used to be called cherry picking, and selectively you pick something and selectively give. Suppressing the facts. Now it is not the question. Suppressio veri, suggestio falsi has not gone. Now you have to present the facts. You have to present the truth. You have to be for the truth, in favor of the truth. Now, what is integrated communication approach? Integrated communication approach means by employing all techniques, you have to communicate with the people. Now, what makes a good PR manager? There are 4 A's. As a strategic management function, public relations encompasses 4 functions. 4 A's. Number 1 A is analyst. Second A is advisor. Third A is advocate. Fourth A is antenna. Analyst. In the role of an analyst, public relations undertake the functions of analyzing the things, anticipating the things, predicting and interpreting public attitudes and issues that might create positive or negative impact on the operations of an organization. Public relations begins with analysis. Therefore, a public relations manager or CC manager, PR manager or CCM, PRM or CCM, PRO or CCM, corporate communications officer, whatever is the designation. The first the function is he must be an analyst. The second one is advisor. As I told you, he is a funda of knowledge. He knows everything. He knows several things also. So whatever board asks, whatever the authority asks, whatever other departments ask, he will be in a position to advise. Then the third one is advocate. As I told you, it is an advocacy, business of advocacy. Envisages the role of advocate. As an advocate, a public relations professional understands the policy decisions of an organization. Not only that, he has to get acquainted with the law, rules, the statutes, the legislations that governs the organization for which he is working, the product or the services that are into the society and the community. If anything happens, he should perceive that this has happened and take up remedial measures. If the things go beyond his control, then only he has to refer it to the legal advisor of the company through the top management. Then the fourth function of public relations manager or corporate communications personnel is antenna. Antenna means, what is the function of antenna? Antenna receives signals from nowhere. Here, the public relations manager receives the feedback from the public, that is the consumers or the customers, commuters, the users of your goods, users of your services, and then he interprets the feedback and gives back to the management so that corrective measures are taken by the management. So these are the management functions. Now look at the personal qualities and professional qualifications. Personal character, self-realization, ability to get things, art of getting things done, ability to use imagination, genuine interest in people, at least showing interest to the people, positive mindset, inspiring leadership qualities, empathy and sympathy towards the public concern, lifelong learning process, ethical and spiritual values honoring, and then professional qualifications. He must be a minimum of a graduate or a post graduation in public relations, journalism, mass communication, advertising, and related subjects. He must have the skills to handle the IT and new media like computer, internet, website, fax, email, um, uh, emailing list, media list, and then better if he possesses the qualifications of MPhil or the PhD or at least the research bent of mind. So all these personal qualities and professional qualifications, in addition to other qualification, other general qualifications, and the adaptability to the situations and the strategies and the tactics to go through the media in order to uh, disseminate the information about the organization. So, what are the skills, other skills? Public relations, writing skills for news releases, knowing the target your audience, find a newsworthy angle. If you are writing something, you find an angle so that it gives some kind of interest. Otherwise, a plain information will not get into the minds of the people. You have to give it some kind of angle so that it interests your readers or listeners. Consider the visual element to provide diverse sources, allow some lead time, and then you have to write an article or anything feature in such a way that a journalist writes, that is inverted pyramid style, giving a nice heading, giving a nice lead. Lead means first para. First para should have all the 5 W's and 1 H, and then other less important, least important things should follow. And whether you give a conclusion or you don't give a conclusion, but you have to give sources to the statistics if your statistics are incorporated in the whatever publication, whether it is news release or a newsletter or any communication that goes out of the things. So with this, we have completed lesson number 7, that is unit 7, and lesson number 8, unit number. And in the next two classes, that will be on 21st of January, 14th Sunday, 14th January Sunday, there won't be any class in view of the festival season. And on 21st and 28th, we will be completing lesson number 9 and 10, 11 and 12. Thank you very much for patiently hearing me. Thanks to the university for this opportunity. Namaskar.